Oh, it's the what? That's what I do, so it's 6:01. Take a look. Yeah. What's Tom doing?
Roll call.
Yep, so, Tom here. Karen.
Aaron.
And Mike's traveling, so they don't see him online. I'll call him. All right, on our agenda, we have the prior meeting minutes from January and March. And,
I don't do it. Yeah, we'll go over those I sent,
yeah,
and I'll get them to you ahead of them.
okay. We have community input, and I see Jim Hunt is calling in.
Oh, hi, good evening. I'm a brand new resident to Kingston. I live on the waterfront, so I was just curious about what the waterfront committee does. So
We are too. So.
Well, I think that.
Yeah, welcome to Kingston. We're a small group. We meet once a month. We try to go over some of the issues within the waterfront. Make sure the docks are in. We help the harbor master make some decisions down there. Since you were new, last year we put in a brand new boat ramp and parking lot. And what we are planning on doing over the next couple of years is trying to expand that footprint to all the property that we own down there. By raising the main wharf or ramp there and expanding that all the way over with the harbor master, his offices and that parking area.
that's great.
So, yeah, we're making some pretty decent headwind on that, making nice improvements for the town. And hopefully in a couple of years, we'll have a brand new waterfront down there that the town can be pretty proud of.
No, I think the town should be pretty proud of it to begin with. It looks great. So,
Yeah, thanks.
well, thank you. I'll just put myself on mute. I just wanted to listen in. Thank you.
Okay, sure.
Hey, harbor master.
Oh,
Hello.
why?
Wonderful.
Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful day down there.
Oh, yeah.
It's windy on the water. Yeah. Thought. So last time we had a meeting, we had the aquaculture license approval from our board. And Jim, Jared is actually the recipient of that oyster grant. The town has 3 oyster grants out there. Actually, everybody here is involved in oysters but me. So,
There's always one smart person on the crowd.
yeah, staying put. Lobsters. So, how's that going, Jared? Sounds good? Good. Good. Awesome. So we can take that off of our agenda going forward. Because all our slots are full and, yeah, hopefully it will stay that way for a long time. Tom Taylor just walked in, Jim, he's our harbor master in town. So he does a little update of what's going on down the waterfront in the last month, so. All yours, Tom.
All docks are in, all moorings, falls are on. Everything's up and running. Today we had our first grade kids go on a field trip and we went out in a boat.
Really?
Well, that's
Two
cute.
trips, yeah. I was kind of surprised, there's a few people that have never been on a boat before.
Really?
So we took them for a ride around the bay and came back in and dropped them off and got another load and went out and did the tour and explained them what the channel markers were all about. And
I love that.
Yeah,
that's
so
good.
cute.
it was good. They had a lot of fun.
Wow.
Awesome.
Good fun. So he's on the frog.
Very cute.
So, Joe, what we've been doing also is, in the last few years, we've been replacing our old docks down there. If you face the water to the right, those were all brand new last year. This year we added, I think, 6 new sections to the left-hand side. We kind of forgot 2 that we gotta do next year. And then there are 5 across the river that we're gonna replace next year, and then everything will be pretty aluminum, yeah.
Don't say new.
No, aluminum, I was looking for the word. So, yeah, more maintenance free, put it that way. So we are also expanding not just on land, but on the water, and making improvements down there as well. We had one town meeting article this spring, that article was approved. It brings, town's funding back up to 30 or 35,000 for emergency use, so.
Yeah.
So, 30, so,
Unfortunately, the one downfall of that is they vote on it. And it's not gonna be back up to 30 because they voted for a certain number.
yeah,
And I've been using it since April, so now it's
a little less.
probably $5,000 less, so,
No,
but it's out.
we have it.
Yeah.
I'll have to take that into consideration next year.
Everything costs more.
Yeah. In the fall, we should probably have at least one article on there. That would be to replace the remaining docks that need to get replaced.
Yeah.
5 plus the river and the other 2,
We want.
the one down the end. And we're gonna do the one in the middle, the hump.
Hump in the middle, we're gonna do new, the one in the end is gonna be the one that's a hump.
Okay.
Which is a little bit.
Yeah,
It's just a different. It's the end of a build that it did before. It's a different design, that's what the problem is.
got it. Cool. I don't think we'll have any other, yes, we will. We'll probably have to have an article on there as well for, the grant as well. To spend money. So we're gonna talk about the grant in a minute. One quick question, are we gonna make these with mains wood or maybe a big wood on the road?
That's not really good.
Is that like 10 years old now? The mains?
You have plastic ones, and that's what
Yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
And keep up with that.
I mean, that's totally fine.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty solid, yeah. Okay.
But anyway,
Good. The other one was the fourth one. Matt asked me to put on the water level and the flow from the Silver Lake. So,
yes,
I don't know,
everybody follows the Heron Run and everything that, and it goes on Silver Lake for that, rock and sucked it dry. Pretty much through this drought, and so even when it was recent rains, there's no water connecting Silver Lake to Jim River. So Heron can't think about that far, and we should be in that, spend looking at on where they've been going, I think they call it the Watershed Association. And they tried to go on some other tributary rivers that ban. But you know, there's gonna be probably some renewed interest in what's going on up there, Brockton's managed some buildings. That's as far as maybe better management. But I think it's relevant to us, you know, we don't have much to fish or anything, but as far as water flow and channel maintenance, you know, I think especially with low water. There's as much fresh water you can get coming down, flushing out the channel, pushing all that sediment out.
Last year, we had to just physically, the mess, from one to the other side of the.
Yeah,
culvert.
yeah, it wasn't really viable this year, but.
No.
Yeah, so it's just something to keep an eye on, like, and more of that.
that's been going on for years and years.
Yeah,
They're sunk in the dry and,
oh, yeah, you know, and they've got that desalination thing.
yeah,
But they still pay for it. That's the killer. There's like 7 million a year just for it to sit there. Yeah. Crazy.
it's very operating fast. We have 3 waterfront terms expiring this June. Mike, Aaron, and Garrett. I guess Garrett is gonna get a letter in the next month, so it's read up if you read up them. And I'm gonna have to have, Ryan Culper, taking off the list, installing the website. Total money from the, but, so, the next part, I guess, if you can open this up, it's phase 2 of our, Adina improvements and the grant update. And after our last meeting in March, everyone said, you know, we should really talk to Val, about getting the grant. Because I was talking about going through, Seaport Economic again, trying to get the grant money. So as we were walking out the door, Val was just happened to be walking in. And, we started a conversation, and next thing you know, she had a meeting scheduled with coastal zone and, and again, horrible name, so Jason. And I forget the other names, I have it written down anyway. And, we had a Zoom meeting, and, I kind of went over a high level of the 3 topics that we were looking to do or thinking about doing. Next round, and that would be the seawall, the wharf, raising that up, and then that whole parking area and, Tom's, office area. So the first part didn't go well at all, was the seawall, and they wanted to do natural flow and whatnot. I'm like, that's fine, they just didn't know if we should be protecting those, the marsh that we do have there, and, you know, kind of helping them grow, and, they said no, so. But the other 2 areas, the wharf and, the other area, the Harbor Master Shack office, sorry. They were very receptive. We had some nice pictures. I used yours, the drone one, yeah, from Facebook. And those really helped out, because the whole reason we're doing this is sea level rise, and the coastal zone is all over right now. And, they could totally see, and I had a couple of pictures of the 11-foot high tide, which went to, I guess it was just under the top of the wharf, and then the 12-foot, which is left the whole wharf underwater, and all the way up, to the pilings, and the handicap ramp is half underwater and whatnot, so they really showed the need down there. Part of the discussion was, you know, moving the harbor master, office to the back parking lot where it was really higher. And, I was really prepared for that, but I'm like, no, we moved that like 10, 12 years ago from the back to the front, because it was a hazard. Harbor master, when you're on duty, cannot see up or down the river. Because then you have to put a dock on and sit outside on blocks to actually see the river. And, that kind of changed how they were looking at that, because they were thinking height wise, you know, if you stand there right now, that parking lot is actually pretty flat. So you don't really, might lose 6, 12 inches in grade. So, but by raising that up, it's just a better sight line. And replacing the office with windows, and they can see up and down the river, and we're totally on board with that. So, really good discussion, back and forth about they can see our need and why things are set up the way they are. And, so that was my conversation, and then Aaron had a conversation that, we haven't really had time to talk about yet, so.
Yeah, so my conversation was with Val and, Leslie Fields, who's the, person scientist for the Woods Hole Group. I'm not sure that they spoke a lot with CZM about like the details of it, because, it seemed like they were like, well, you know, wanting us to walk through what the idea was, and Val's idea was a little different, than mine, from the waterfront committee's perspective. So they're like not calling it phase 2, this is like its own, animal, and it's going to be a 2-year grant. I'll start by saying the most important thing that we have to do, and it is time sensitive, is the letters of support. So, we really need to get on that. And ask, you know, we can even, those same letters of support that we received before, just tweak them if they're, that the last part project specific. But that's, as far as we're concerned, that's really all that they need from us at this time. So. The draft outline. For the CZM grant. Coastal hazards management. And that's. Both on the town and what's going to be. Climate adaptation, native assistance. So the project description. General project management, there'll be meetings. Monthly reporting, stakeholder group will be Val. Tom Bouchard, myself, the harbor master, fire police, Concom. Woods Hole Group, the Dover Watershed Association, oyster farmers, whoever. And the working group is just kind of the people that. Work here, I think that it's. It'd be just for like the monthly reporting. Existing conditions plan, site visit with project team, wetland delineation, site survey to include topography, infrastructure, wharf, boat ramp, parking lots, buildings, running water, different conditions. They're basically looking at, Google Earth, they're not, so they're gonna come down here and really talk it out. They weren't really aware of what we had done for the last project. Weren't aware that we had like, chapter 91 is like.
Chapter 9.
Chapter 90, yeah. Approval, things like this, so. I've been just trying to gather the studies that we did before and kind of like the process that we went through then. They're sort of making it sound like knowing anything about anything. Public outreach and education, so. They want to involve the community. In the select board, they would like to do kiosks, informational things, maybe history. I did get the name of the local representative for like the Wampanoag local history. Just to see if they would like to participate or be included on any information, the kiosk and what information they would like to have on there. See.
Where would we have to do the kiosk?
Where we do?
Yeah.
Wherever it was appropriate, like, it could be. Like just a plastic, frame on the side of the harbor master house, or it can be just a little standalone thing somewhere in the parking lot for. Taking things like. We're trying to make. This is a town-wide thing we're trying to do is like, new signage, new, signs like, over just the fields, just places around town. Maybe offering things into the language for different things wanting to do. Task for alternatives and analysis, develop design criteria based on future flood risk. Well, up to 3 alternatives with drawings, valuation matrix that includes resource area impacts, permeability, cost, flooding, timeframe, and completion. 30% designs by the end of the year, nothing but the reach, benefit interest, transferability, timeline. So this is kind of just a really loose timeline of when we have to have things done, when we need to talk about Kingston's match commitment. Because we have to show that we actually do have, funding available, whether it's waterways, towns, or, private donations, So like they're, for reference, Marblehead was in the $230,000 range, but also included wave modeling and engineering designs. So, she mentions it because she thought there was or Val felt there was some confusion with you maintaining that the harbor master had to be exactly where it is office. What do you want me to call it? Okay. So they were, they are wanting to move it back, but with the hopes that where it's high enough and whether there's a cupola or whatever you call it, a lookout whatever, they understand the importance of being able to see all the way up and down the river, so that's, you know, however that has to work.
Yeah, I think the on-site visit will really show that you can't see from the back of the park. I mean, the sight line's just not there, so.
Well, right, yeah, I imagine there'll be some sort of compromise there, I also, don't know how much of a fight you're gonna get from that house in the corner, you know, you're building up and blocking maybe their entire view, I don't know if that's gonna get dicey, but, we'll cross that bridge. You need to know the checks to see what the load bearing capacity is, like the amount of pilings, if they're on silt or whatever. They were just curious on, how structured it's not, it wasn't, so I didn't offer anything. So. Yeah, they basically just made notes about what I was, what we were saying about water getting into the building and. You know, if the danger like in storms, even just to get into the building. Made a point that we say that it's an emergency, operations facility, you know, there's no other place that. We can get in the water. Kind of,
Yeah, I kind of broke the ice a little bit with, Mark. About getting the fire department down there. And
Yeah.
getting boats in and out, and he's on board whatever we need, so.
Yeah, like I said, I think all the letters of support that we got before, I think
Yeah.
they would definitely still be supportive of this, I will write us a letter. And this is the grant itself. Like I said, they are gonna write the grant, but we just need to provide them anything that they ask for. So right now, it's just letters of support, but it is time sensitive, I feel like it's.
It's against the wall. right?
Yeah, like next week or something.
Yeah. The. Question period closes May 21st, which is
Right,
9 days from now.
the application itself is due June 18th.
Right,
And it's gonna be in a couple parts, like I said, it's gonna be a 2-year. Project or. The grant.
and we've always kind of thought that way.
Mhm.
This is about for their. Presentation that they did, it's one of the pages, and they had, it's almost like it's a 4-part series, so that they go out 4 years, or is it? We group a couple of these together, or do we do design and permitting together? And do all of those, I didn't know if there was like year 1, 2, 3, and 4,
I don't
that was confusing.
believe
to
so,
me.
I think it's more 2 years. To get all the money and permitting, but then, of course, then you have to start, like, I don't know that, besides the engineering, utilities, I'm not sure. I haven't even really gone over this much since I knew I didn't do it, and, you know. Obviously, I would be going.
Do they have a date yet for their on-site visit? So they know if they are writing?
No, I don't believe so. But
We can get a date for it. That would help.
um,
What's that, for the next thing, guys? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure how much detail they need, like on the first, you know, the first, but. Cause this just came out, May 7th.
Yeah, just
So-
about last week, right?
Yeah, so, that's a really, really quick turnaround for this. Almost not.
But they'll take the construction of it, launch it, or how this,
No, the grant is for. Um. Yeah, applicants may request up to $2 million in funding for a project.
right, for the,
Demonstration of commitment to the project. Through the provision of matching required at 10% of the total project cost. Matching with after in-kind contributions, which planning department, has money to give from the public benefit account. Michelle said she's willing to give, and she also will, match income with her work, you know, hours and that she donates. Yeah, like I said,
Yeah, I haven't looked through the whole thing. I did see some buildings are involved and whatnot that you can't get the funding for that, to answer your question, so I think, getting phase one, or the first portion of that is the, um, the money to take a look at. We should probably, I don't know if we can do the permitting at the same time, or what, but, I thought the buildings are included. I didn't write down in my notes, there was one town that did get a building. Don't know if it's Marblehead.
I think it was Marblehead.
Yeah. We did get a building, so. If we have to go to Seaport, we can stay there, comes after. I think it was a Seaport and Panama for this, or just like. Seaport seems like a lot faster than you right there. It does, but we also need the permits. Yeah. And, having been through the permits would give us a document, you know, for ahead. Because if we have the wrong permit, then that can go us back. They're going to point us in the right direction, but that's what they require. Right?
Yeah, they were curious too about having Duxbury Construction having done the plans. So they don't know that they're, you know, they have a license and
He is a civil engineer. He's civil engineer, I think.
I mean, I knew he
Yeah,
was, but I didn't know if he was. I knew he did that, he was good at that, but I didn't know if that was, if he was, recognized, like.
we recognize him.
Yeah.
And he does a really good work.
Which hole, so
They were familiar with him.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. So. That's all I got, but, you know, I don't think we have another meeting set up yet.
No,
We
no.
should be
But
a part of that. work meeting.
But if we can get, them down there or whatever, just stay on board. Yeah. Get the word out what you need. And again, the need for the building is, you just can't see out of the windows there. You can see this.
We've never had a building.
Yeah.
It's outside. Yeah.
But-
That would be the. You know, that's the urgency kind of it, but it doesn't seem like it's. You know. Where are you?
They're urgent.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like it's, you know. Everything's kind of like everything in this is the world, it's just like, yeah, what do we have to do? All right, good things, you know?
Yeah, good things. You don't want to really stop the ball from rolling,
No, we have to do it right,
which is why we're gonna go through them.
again, like, because another funding on the last project, it
Yeah.
looks really good, it's got, like, you know, I hope like this, you know, it's like, they're running so on this.
Right, right.
No, never gonna. But we see all this thing and everything. So this was the grant that you did for the last project, so I figured we can. Like, when I was going through it with them, you know, a lot of the answers to their questions were in here, you know. Why it's important, how does our community rely on that? You have it right there.
Oh, the current one? No, I don't have that. I haven't purchased it on here.
Yeah.
So you need some money.
So I had a question, did we have an article about the landing improvements? 48,000 for free cash, what comes home in engineer, is that old?
On the original,
So the articles that I saw, that I thought were passed recently were. to see if the town will vote to appropriate $60,000 from water rates for the dock.
Yeah, that was, last fall, right?
Okay,
The other article did not go in,
the town lady improvements
correct?
and the waterfront committee members, that was in the group.
Yes,
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
So we never even, we didn't ask,
no,
we didn't know that. We didn't know.
correct.
Gotcha. Okay.
And
Yeah,
we
so,
still don't know what we need,
yeah,
you know, so.
yeah, so the SEC funding. What was that? This is your,
that was my own, right.
hmm,
So I was thinking if we had, say, $48,000 to $50,000 in, engineering fees,
mhm.
we could get, a grant, or we could put for 38.4 or whatever it is, and we use water rates for the grants.
Okay,
So we don't know what this engineering fee costs,
Mhm.
I have no idea. And I'm kind of going through some of the other grants and,
yeah,
you know,
That's
and trying to figure out what they're getting charged, and we're thinking maybe 80,000. We have no idea. No idea,
that was proposed,
yeah. So,
so that means that probably,
yeah, I would think 100 is safe. I really do.
so when it comes down to it, if I can do 1% of 100,
Well, you're right.
that's not coming out of that was.
Right. Right. That's the number we. Tom, you know, just initially talking, said 10 grand.
yeah,
So that's why I came up with the other number, based on both. 10 was safe for waterways to use.
Yeah.
That's how we come up with that.
well,
So-
hopefully there's grant or, you know, it includes engineering and stuff like that.
Right. So that was, this is kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's on there as a placeholder, so we can talk about it.
Perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'll keep you abreast of any, you know, new developments, so. And any reason I need to tell. Either divvy up, you know, who was asking for it, there was nothing to do, or maybe just. Do it either last time, and was. You can even, like, I can look at the old.
I already broke the ice with, most of the people.
Mhm.
You know, I kept putting Mark off, he was going on vacation, doing this and that, and I was going away, and then we didn't really know what's going on, so. You know, I can get back in touch with them. So I can even write in a letter. and-
Well, exactly, I was
Sign
gonna
it.
say, you know, give them their old letter or just, yeah, write it and ask them if they're signing it, just to. I would imagine it's very similar, just talking about the
Totally.
access.
Totally wants to backwards.
Yeah.
And so Brian's the same way, write him the letter, he'll sign it, and, you know, for what Tom needs.
But we just gotta do that.
Right,
You know,
and then we can get a letter from Pine and, you know, yeah, you know, and really.
Yeah.
I don't know.
yeah, now it's like. It's, you know,
Right, right, and that's what we're trying to do, we learned a lot,
As
right?
long as we don't.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, don't put flowers with seed grass, I mean, right. But we addressed a lot of issues in the third part.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
we like what we did, yeah.
Yeah, and they still, you know, they wanna continue with the, you know, they like the idea that. Obviously, it was considered the rain garden, how, you know, shed water and.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still obviously really important.
Right.
But this goes, this, you know, this person that handled what we had good, so. I
Right.
would imagine like a lot of the studies and. I don't know, the measurements and stuff, because at first it wasn't it like we sort of like. Did the big picture and then it became, okay, well, this is, that a whole other thing.
Well,
works and
At
focus
first, it
on
was
this.
a ramp that was almost flat like the other one.
Right,
And then it became 15 degrees, which stuck it up, and then you obviously have to have grading to it.
Mhm.
And then fix the parking. For a lot of things. Yeah,
I'll talk to Tom if you want.
Okay.
I think my boarding certificate for last week,
that's good.
it was the worst.
Was it?
It
I'm
was-
proud of you.
Really?
I got 100 on the state. And 100 on the federal.
Yeah.
studied. I actually sat, my son was on one side of me and Dave was on the other side, and to take the test, I went to like a remote, I'm like, you guys are not cheating off me, it's not happening. So I went to like a table all by myself. Was
I
actually,
threw my Coast Guard certificate away like a year or so ago. I'm like, it's so distorted from being wet and this and that. I threw it away. I'm like, I never need this.
well, your dad was like,
Found
oh,
my
you're gonna get
certificate
it
on
done like,
Sunday.
you know,
I'm like,
like next
yeah.
year. But it's not next year, it's like 2027 or 8 for anyone.
Yeah, right.
All right,
Yeah.
depends on your age.
Yeah, well. Yeah, you probably weren't even born after you were.
I don't. Yeah, all the way to-
No,
Something.
well, you have to take, yeah, the Massachusetts one is like,
I think they allow you to either do a, whatever, a one-day
Any
course.
close the meeting? Anybody else have
oh,
anything?
I don't have anything else.
No? Jim, you have any questions? This is what we do.
No, thank you very much. I appreciate the time and you guys just keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for joining us. It's good that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, get involved any way you can.
All right.
I'm just getting my no pun intended, just get my feet wet.
There you go.
Oh, they get wet down there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys. Take care.
Yeah. All right, I vote to close the meeting.
Oh, yeah. we can do that.
Great. What we got?
Yeah, all in favor. Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.